Hello everyone, you're watching Newegg TV. I'm Jennifer and I am very pleased to say that I am going to be giving you an unboxing and overview of the new PlayStation 4 from Sony. Okay, now the first thing you might notice about this unboxing is this box has already been opened. In a perfect world, I would have been given an untouched, brand new, ready sealed PlayStation 4, but unfortunately this thing had to make its rounds around Newegg first, and then it came to me. So we're all gonna pretend like it's Christmas morning and like that tape is still sealed. So here we go. Busting it open. Okay, the first thing we see on top is the new DualShock 4 controller. I will be going into great detail on this in just a moment. So let's set it aside. Ooh, it's so pretty. Okay. Underneath that, we have a power cord. Just simple power cord. That's interesting. No power brick this time, PlayStation, okay. Again, we're gonna movie magic pretend like that was still sealed. Here's our safety guide and also a couple quick start guides. This one in English. And then some special offers from PlayStation for PlayStation gamers. There's some codes in here I can't show you, but upon first purchasing your PlayStation 4, you're going to get 30 days of PlayStation Plus, 30 days of Music Unlimited, and $10 to the PlayStation Store. I can't show you the other side because that's where the codes are. Anyway, but take my word for it, you get some free goodies there. Okay, what else do we have in the box? An HDMI cable. Thank you very much, Sony. I was very upset when I got my PlayStation 3 originally and it did not have one of these. Now there are no RCA cables, just an HDMI cable. Much appreciated there. Also, we have the USB to micro USB charging cable for the controller. So I'll put that aside. And additionally, we get the earbud microphone for the controller, which I will demonstrate for you in just a little bit. But this plugs into your controller to allow you to have interaction during live gameplay. So let's set all of this aside and then get on to the real magic. Here it is. Dun, dun, dun. I'm so excited. I'm just trying to be gentle. All right, how is this bagged? Let's see, bagged, no? Wrapped, we wrap, okay. There it is. PlayStation. All right, let's take a look now at just the physical specs of the PlayStation 4, weighing in at just over 6 pounds. And also, so we can just see how large it is, we have a length at the longest point of 11.5 inches, height at the tallest point of 2 inches, nearly dead even, and a width of 10 and let's call it 3/4 inches. So almost a square on that. I appreciate that PlayStation, or that Sony rather, has given most of this a matte finish. One of the most troubling things for the PlayStation 3 was that it had this super staticky high gloss finish, which they still put on some of it, that attracted fingerprints and all of the dust. This thing has been out of the box 30 seconds now, maybe, and it has already attracted all of the dust on the desk to it. So I appreciate that Sony has gone back and refined this design considerably, making it matte, making it easier to keep clean, easier to keep dust-free. I appreciate that a lot. It's a nice flat surface. All surfaces on it actually are quite flat. It gives it a more edgy, storable, just very contemporary look. Whereas the PlayStation 3 in its first generation was much rounder and kind of harder to configure as an entertainment device, which is what they really intended for these gaming machines, is to make them your entire home entertainment system. And the PlayStation 3 was a little difficult to configure into a cabinet, whereas the PlayStation 4 will fit quite nicely any way you want to put it. You can lay it flat like this, or there is an optional stand which will stand it up on end and actually make it very attractive standing as well. Okay, let's lay it back down and move on to some more of the internal specs. Before I get into the ports and things like that, I want to tell you what's inside. So this has a single chip processor that combines an 8-core x86 64 AMD Jaguar CPU with a 1.8 teraflop GPU that's based also on the AMD Radeon technology. I also read just recently that it is incorporating the AMD TrueSound audio. So this thing is going to look great and sound great while you're gaming, while you're playing movies. It has the Blu-ray disc drive in it, you know, all of that good stuff. Anyway, moving on with some more specs. Okay, so we have 8 gigs of GDDR5 RAM and a 500 gigabyte mechanical hard drive. Now you can open it up and change out the hard drive in this, and Sony is being very kind to modders in saying that we will not void your warranty if you choose to upgrade your hard disk drive. So I say that's game on, open invitation, slap an SSD in there, do what you gotta do. Very, very cool. They're also, you know, you can read up on it some more. I think that what they're offering gamers for more recent games to trade in for next generation games on some titles like the newest Assassin's Creed and things like that is very good. You can upgrade for just $10 if you bought it for the PlayStation 3. You can download it onto PlayStation 4. All right, so as I noted when I pulled out the power cord here, is there seems to be a power brick missing. But really, they just decided to internalize the power supply so that your cordage is, you know, a little bit more convenient, easier to plug in and store, as well as, you know, utilize, so you don't have a big brick to try to shove in the back of your TV or carry around with you or whatever you're going to be doing with it. Okie dokie, now let's take a look at the external ports. So on the front we have the 2 USB 2.0 ports for the controllers, where you will be charging those, and also you can probably insert extra storage media, what have you. All right, so taking a look now at the ports in the back. We have a few extra things going on and a few things missing from our familiar PlayStations. You may notice there is no longer a analog or auxiliary RCA analog jack. It's all digital now. So we have a digital optical out here with a little flap there, which is why I didn't recognize it too well. So here's your HDMI port, we have Ethernet, and then this auxiliary is a proprietary one to Sony. This is for the optional PlayStation 4 camera to plug in if you choose to get that accessory. Over here is where your power cable will go. So here's a quick side-by-side comparison of our familiar old PS3 controller and the new PS4 controller. In my left hand, obviously, is our PS4 controller. And you can see right away that the PS4 controller has a bit longer legs and it's a little bit taller, which I kind of appreciate just because it seems like it's a better fit for people who maybe aren't 12. And for me though, the PS3 controller kind of fits because I have really, really tiny hands. And what that means is that my thumb to index finger is only 4 inches. Like, it's really small. So the PS3 controller kind of fits, but I do appreciate the new ergonomic design of the PS4 controller. It has a very good weight to it. It's very balanced. It's very comfortable to hold on to. It's not top heavy like the PS3 controllers were a little bit topward heavy and they would tend to slant down while you were playing them. But all of the ergonomics aside, let's talk about the features because we do have some new ones here. First up, you may notice, is this big kind of matte black square at the top. Now what this is a capacitive two-way touch, kind of a mouse controller. So you will be able to use this as a touchpad like you would on a laptop to scroll around and select things. There may be even some in-game features you'll be able to use with that. There's a speaker here. This is our familiar wake up button. And then down here we have an extension port and then also a headphone port, which I showed you earlier. So this will plug in right here and allow you to participate in live gaming, talk to your friends, and the microphone is here. Obviously, if you are a gamer, you may already have a microphone headset that would be, you know, better use to you than this. But this will get you going for sure and also takes up a lot less space. So let's move that aside and start looking at some of the other new features. Now here's our options button, which we, you know, used to have under the select key. There, you know, if you look at the PS3 controller, so we have start, select, and then this would be usually our options menus. So here this has a dedicated options button, and over here is this new little share button. Now what this does is allow you to share your last 15 minutes of recorded game time. So while you're playing along, the PS4 is automatically recording 15 minutes of game time, and then if you say get 12 kill shots in a row and you want to share that with somebody, you can kind of slightly trim the footage after you select share in the software, and then send that along to whomever you like. So that's pretty cool. All right, moving around to the back now. Oh, I should also mention on the share features that the game developers are allowed to decide whether or not recording will be available on their games. So not every game is going to allow recording, you know, maybe to prevent you from sharing some spoilers and a storyline or things like that that they don't want broadcasted out. So definitely check on that. But it is still a neat feature to be able to share your gameplay. All right, so this is an LED indicator light that can tell you, I've heard that there's some features in games that it'll tell you like what your life is at, or you know, what level you're on by indicating lights. I think it's kind of in a difficult place to see. For me, it's just useful to know if it's plugged into the charger that it is charging. It'll light up a kind of a yellowish white color. Now we have our R2 and R1 buttons, and I think it's funny, if you take a look at the PlayStation 3 controller here, the 1 and the 2 are right side up only if you're facing it towards you like this. You know, you would never be looking at it that way, whereas these have been intentionally printed upside down so that when you glance down at it, you can easily read, oh, I'm looking at L2, I'm looking at L1. And I feel silly saying this, but sometimes I do have to look down to know which side I'm looking at. And I believe that is it. That is all the new features on the new PS4 controller. All right, everyone. Well, that wraps up this product overview of the new Sony PlayStation 4. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I do want to mention that if you live in the Southern California area, particularly around the City of Industry, this will be on display, available for you to play during our regular will call hours at our will call center. So come down, check it out. I heard a rumor that we are the only place where you can come play a PlayStation 4 before you buy it. So definitely come down, check it out. It's going to be on display indefinitely, or until something happens or we move. I don't know. So for as long as Newegg is operating out of that will call center in Industry, you can come play this PlayStation 4. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and overview. I really enjoyed getting to have a first peek at it. If you've liked this video or found it informational, please like it and subscribe to our various YouTube channels. Until next time, I'm Jennifer, and thank you for watching Newegg TV.